So we call the meeting to order. I got 5 o'clock. We have Diane, Steve, myself, Will, Kenny, and BJ is on Zoom. And first order of business is to start an interview with Ned Colin and Colin. And I'll need a motion to go into executive session for the interview.
A motion to go into executive session to interview candidates for employment for the village manager as allowed under 1 VSA section 313A3.
Second.
Okay, second. And we're going to also add to that, the ones present will be Diane, Steve, myself, Will, Jennison, Kenny's, Rosemary, BJ via Zoom, and Ned. So with that added to it, all those in favor said motion signify with an aye.
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 And chair is aye. The motion passes. We're now in executive session, and Rosemary can stop recording. So we are now out of the executive session. We had a interview for the village manager's position, and so we're going to take a 3 to 5 minute break, and we'll start to get back on the agenda.
How are you? Good.
All right, so first thing I'll be looking for is approval for the minutes for February 14th, February 23rd, 25th, and March 9th.
So motion.
We have a second?
Second.
Do you have any discussion? Anything anybody wants to agenda amend? Seeing none, all those in favor said motion signify with an aye.
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 BJ? Yep, and chair is aye, it passes. And that brings us straight to the 3-second bathtub.
Joe at your house has a private bathtub that is to remove for storage. Several has approved that. Once the decisions the board set is that you are a license.
Okay,
I'm not able to hear anything, Will.
BJ,
I'm not able to hear anything.
you're not be able to hear anything? Oh, that's Rosemary. So what she said was the food shop has a bathtub, fiberglass bathtub they want removed, so they can put in more storage. And the town approved it because it's a jointly owned building, and their only stipulation was that'd be done, you said licensed or insured?
Sure.
An insured contractor, so if anybody gets hurt, there's no liability for the town or village.
Okay.
So what's your pleasure?
A motion that we allow them to remove it for what the select board suggested.
Well, so with, as long as the removal is done by someone who's insured.
Yes.
Okay. So the motion is to allow the food shop to remove the bathtub as long as the removal is done by someone who's insured. Do I have a second?
Second.
2 seconds. Anybody want further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor said motion signify with an aye.
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 And that's 4, and chair is aye, it's approved. And V-Trans equity offer. So that's a simple just to authorize the chair to sign or authorize you to sign. We do either. Okay.
Authorize what? I didn't hear.
Authorize Rosemary to sign the
Oh.
V-Trans equity shares.
This is the additional share.
Yeah.
The extra 5,000 was it that we bought?
Yeah.
Yep, I would motion that Rosemary can sign for that.
You have a second on that?
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of said motion signify with an aye.
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 Chair, that's unanimous. Passes. Thank you for signing that. Appoint a village representative, EPSA. Troy has indicated that if, well, actually, you know what? Let's, I'm gonna table that one for a minute. I don't know what happened. I emailed it to everybody, so that Rosemary just put this out here.
Yeah.
Dolan's Municipal and Utility Contracting LLC has proposed Troy doing a list of scope of services. He's listed here. Just like to give you guys a minute to look over.
Well, it's gonna take me
Yeah, I'm
a
saying,
little more than a minute.
Yeah.
I guess one of my things is the same, for the same reason that we talked about not meeting with Ned again till after the election. I think maybe we should postpone this till after the election too, so that the new board is the one acting on it. It's only 9 days away.
Troy's resignation was effective when?
31st, I think it is.
Yeah.
So we must be having a meeting following village meeting. In case there's new appointed people.
That's right.
So it'd be our regular scheduled meeting would be the 11th if I'm following. Yeah. So regular scheduled meeting would be the 11th.
So would that put us at a burden with over a week?
Hasn't he agreed to work? What is this termination date?
The 30th of March.
31st.
Oh,
30 or 31st. It's one
31st,
of
I
them. I
thought,
can't remember
yeah.
if it's 30 or 31, but it's
So it's
consequential. So he's
just a week.
less than a week.
I have a question. On some of the stuff that I'm seeing here, isn't that part of his job that he does as a foreman?
Yes.
So basically, he quits as a foreman. He will do this as a contractor to make more money to do the same thing that he was doing back as a foreman.
Well, it would be, I'm not going to discuss financials at this point because we'll have to go to executive because it is a contract.
Okay,
So, yeah, so that portion of it, we're not going to talk about,
copy that.
but you are incorrect. Anybody else? Kyle?
Sorry, Will, I have no idea what's going on again. Can you describe the agenda item and exactly what you're talking about?
So the agenda item,
Exact correspondence.
excuse me 1 second. Pull it back up.
What's on the agenda is foreman's position.
Right, working foreman's, four-person's position.
Okay.
We do have a potential contract offer for that foreman's four-person's position. And right now, we're just discussing whether or not we want to entertain the contract, which I tried to email to you guys earlier, but apparently it was
Yeah.
unsuccessful,
Yeah.
which is pretty par for the course for me in technology. And I apologize for that. So they're trying to get up to speed and read what's there, and we're just kind of hashing that out for right now because that will make a difference on the 5th item for appointing the DEPSA representative.
Okay, sorry, just for clarity again. So Troy has already submitted he started a consulting company, but he's now trying to get a contract with the village, sort of like what Merrick did.
Yes.
This is after he claims that he's cared for his life and his family's life, and now he wants to come back and work for the very people that he's not comfortable with. This is why he resigned.
No, and I can't get into details because of we can't talk about the contract and open forum right now, but if you have a question, if you have a question like that, I can't answer that question. If you want to talk to Troy, then he's still on the payroll until Friday.
Okay, I guess I'm just bringing up that this is very odd.
Okay.
Yeah, I see some problems here. A number of these things he's planning to do.
But if I can move over to the item 8, and then we can go into an executive and talk about the contract, if you'd like. If, so that way that we can get done with all the public stuff, and then if you want to do that. Does anybody want to? Yes. Okay.
I'm fine with that.
So let's go to item number 8. I think that's the only other thing on here is the appeal of public records request for Aaron Calvin, News and Citizen. So are you, Aaron? Okay. So at this point, you've made a request to the town clerk and she has denied your request, correct?
You want me to defend myself?
No, I'm asking, I'm clarifying the what's happened so far. So I just want to know, is that, so you made a request for the record
Yep.
through the town clerk and she has denied it.
Yep.
And now you have the right to appeal to the board, which is what you're doing right now.
Great.
Okay, so we're on the same page, right?
All right.
Okay. So with that, you guys are familiar with the document that he's requesting?
Is it the arbitration? Or
No,
is it?
Troy's, you're asking,
or
my
is
understanding is this is
yeah,
for
I'm
Troy's
not sure.
resignation letter, right?
Yeah, I'm requesting Troy's resignation letter.
Okay. So our village lawyer has advised Rosemary to not release it per sure you got the alphabet soup that comes with it. So he's appealing to us to override Rosemary and authorize the document to be given to him against council's advice. So
You're the one that wrote this article, correct?
On the front page?
On the front page.
Yes.
I don't understand why you're requesting. Seems like you already know everything there is to know about
It's-
this.
You're requesting Troy's resignation letter. Troy talked to you. And
Right, but the thing is, it should be a public document. It should be exempt under the exemption that Rosemary quoted to me. I have many examples of being able to obtain resignation letters from town employees of other towns. And, it's very irregular to deny a public records request for a resignation letter. I can give you some examples if you'd like some.
I think I've read some of your examples. So is anybody willing to make a motion to allow him to receive the document?
I guess I want to ask why the lawyer told us not to. Because
You
that's
have the-
kind of important to me. And if I understand it, I don't want to see a VSA 3.2, because I don't.
And it's my understanding that Troy did not release his resignation letter to you himself, correct? You asked for it from Troy.
A little hard here. Can you say it again?
You asked Troy for his resignation letter yourself?
Yeah, he sent me a statement instead, but that doesn't have any bearing on whether or not this is a public record.
I just asked a question. So you asked him for the resignation letter and he denied it.
I had some discussions with him and I told him he could submit whatever information he felt comfortable with, and he sent me a statement instead in lieu of that. But again, that shouldn't have any bearing under whether or not this is a publicly accessible record.
I think that's our decision. Not yours.
He's reading that. Have you all seen the resignation letter?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. That seems like that would be an important piece, this next piece, understanding why he's resigned.
Mhm. It says this exemption covers, quote, personal documents relating to an individual, including information in any files maintained to hire, evaluate, promote, or discipline any employee of a public agency. Information in any files relating to personal finances, medical or psychological facts concerning any individual or corporation, provided, however, that all information in personnel files of an individual employee of any public agency shall be made available to any individual employee or his or her designated representative.
That pretty much says we can give it to his lawyer.
Say that again?
Said that pretty much says we can give it to Troy's lawyer or a representative for the union.
So that's, did we do that? Did we?
They haven't requested it.
Hey, Will, let me ask you this. So with the other document for Paul, our lawyer suggested we didn't give it to anybody, but there was nothing illegal about giving it to anybody. Is this that same?
No. There's a
Okay.
difference between what transpired and this board releasing the information. There's a difference. So our lawyer's advising us as a board and Rosemary as the town village clerk to not release this.
Okay,
So are we looking for a motion to deny it or just to allow it?
We can either make a motion to deny it or we can make a motion to allow it to see it.
So I'd motion that we stick with what the guidance from the lawyer to not put the town at any jeopardy or liability, that we do not release it.
So what you're saying is you want to deny the request for
Yes.
the resignation letter from Aaron and the News and Citizen.
Correct.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor. Motion is to deny the request for Troy's resignation letter from Aaron and the News and Citizen. Do I have a second? Lack of a second. Motion will die. Is there another motion?
Have you gone to the Vermont Leagues of Cities and Towns and asked them what their recommendation is?
I have not. Rosemary?
Maybe a good,
I would suggest doing that because this is very irregular. And your lawyer's one opinion, but that's just one opinion. I would get a second opinion on that.
So, all right, well, if there's no motion on the floor, my understanding is that if there's no action taken, then it's paramount as a similar, it's the exact same thing as a denial. So I'm left with no choice but to go back.
can we do further research and call the Vermont League of Cities and Towns and see what they say? And
We can, but the request that was made here is
Right.
neither a motion to approve or deny. So I think that, from my understanding from the lawyer, that equates to a denial. And
okay, with the understanding that we'll look into.
yeah, we can definitely look into the VLCT and see what their take on it is, and then
Okay.
with another appeal or another request, we can. If we get different information, then we can move forward with that. So.
Say it again.
I said, right now, by absence, it's a denial. Okay, and then Dee's interested in looking at VLCT to get their take on it. And at that time, we as a board, we can bring it back up again. And if we get a different opinion, with different information, then we can hash that out. And obviously, if it's the board approves it, then we'll reach out.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So that brings us back to the working foreman's position. Looking for an executive session for a contract for outside services.
A motion that we go into executive session. Under 1 VSA, section 313. A1A for contract outside services contract.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Sure.
Did you go out to bid for this contract?
No.
You plan to?
That would be something we'll definitely have to discuss. We can talk about that after we not executive.
Okay, because typically with any contracted services, we go out to bid with several, several different applications or whatever, and then you would, see what you have competitive field.
Yeah, I don't disagree, but yeah. Okay, so all those in favor, say motion signify by aye.
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 I don't know why we're going in. I mean, we already know.
Because
that
there's, if we discuss this contract, it has to be under executive because it's just how it's done. I mean, there's dollar figures, that have to be discussed in executive session.
Okay.
So that'd be it.
I'm going to say no, because it's just already there.
So executive session, Rosemary, does that have to be a unanimous or is that majority? Majority, okay. Chair is ayes, 4-1, and we'll do a roll call. BJ?
Aye.
Diane?
Nay.
Steve?
I'm gonna change to a nay.
Chair is aye. Kenny?
Aye.
Majority is passes 3-2. We'll not be going into executive session. We can wait downstairs and we can give you a call when we're done, if you'd like.
So that way, now you can do another business afterwards. Maybe you'll have some action.
It's possible to have an action afterwards. So yeah, I would say, huh?
I mean, that's such too long.
I'm sorry, what?
Let them top off.
I'm hoping to be 15-20 minutes. So we've moved out of the executive session around 7:07. We discussed contract was presented to us for the consultant for the electric utility, and no further actions will be taken tonight. Is there anything else anybody wants to bring before the board? Seeing none, all those in favor of,
I'd just like to add that, Donna, I'd like to apologize if I was a little out of line, a little rude last meeting. I did not mean to be so harsh in my comments.
Oh, no, that's fine. You're completely right to complain that I would email those minutes out.
I
Should've done it, and I just-
I felt I was a little harsh and I'll apologize and I'll work on not being that way.
this is the softer, kinder Kenny.
No, I just,
All
It's
right,
very nice of you.
so is there a motion to put a halt to this meeting? Is
Motion to adjourn.
there a second? All those in favor said motion signify with an eye,
Aye.
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 and chair is aye, it's unanimous. Thank you all.
Thank you.
I'm gonna go home and have birthday dinner.
You do.
Birthday?
Oh, a birthday dinner?
Happy birthday.